share it, and the chance we have to give. You can do most anything, so just do what you love. Live it, share it, you know it's what you're dreaming of. What we love, what we do, makes a difference in me and you. All these years of inspiration and love.
You can download. I spent some time today looking at all the different tips and techniques for the rose gold shimmer paint. And so you'll be able to download this and print it or save it to your computer desktop if you want. So just some general tips when you get your rose gold shimmer paint. You do want to shake it really well. And there's a little ball inside. And so you want to shake it just like you're shaking a can of spray paint, okay? And that ball just helps mix everything that's inside, okay? And please ask questions as we go along, okay? All right, so I've done that. I am gonna move these out of the way just a tiny bit, okay? Let me move those to the side. And another item that I found useful, and this doesn't look very pretty, but I have this medicine dropper, and the pharmacist actually gave it to me at the counter, but you can certainly buy these as well. And I do use this to pick up the shimmer paint and to put in the spritzer bottle. So you are going to see me do that tonight, okay? So I think a medicine dropper is helpful. Hi, Linda, thank you for sharing. Yes, all of you ladies, go ahead and share this video so that others will join in. Linda, you're in Virginia, so am I. If you live in the Richmond, Virginia area, you're gonna wanna join my new catalog open house. It's coming up on Monday. Yes, Memorial Day. All right, let's see. Another thing that I found useful was, and again, we're gonna get into this spritzing bottle in a little bit. I decided to label the bottle Rose Gold Shimmer Paint. And that way, when I use this shimmer paint, I'm using the same bottle because this is gonna be hard to clean and to get out all of that residue and stuff. So I do like to label my sponges and my bottles for the shimmer paints. Okay, so we are going to get started, and I'm actually gonna start with the Take Your Pick tool, believe it or not. And I'm going to show you this technique right here. You're going to notice, and let me zoom in for you. Do you see these little dots of color? Hi, Terry. Oh, Spotsylvania, that's awesome. These little dots of shimmer paint, I'm going to show you how to create these on your project, okay? Go ahead, ladies, and share the video. Hi, Kathy, I'm glad you made it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is with our Take Your Pick tool, we're going to change this piece right here, okay? And I am actually going to put in the stylus. Now, our stylus has 2 points. We have a smaller point, we have a larger point. And I'm gonna use the smaller point for this demonstration, okay? And then here, of course, is where I tighten it so that it will stay on, okay? Let's see, I think I forgot to bring some Whisper white paper over here, but I'm gonna flip this over and we'll use this. All right, so I'm gonna shake this up just a few minutes more. Please ask questions, ladies, if you have any. And I'm actually going to use the top, and I'm going to dip in with my stylus. And I am going to just leave a dot of paint right there. I'm gonna do it again and again. And this is with the small stylus. Now, if you use the larger stylus, the dots would be just a little bit bigger. But that's how you make this little embellishment. Isn't that cool? So I thought that was really neat. I wanted to pass that on to you. And then, of course, when you're done, just go ahead and let me zoom the camera back out go ahead and wipe the stylus tip, okay? Whenever you're done with your shimmer paint, go on and wipe off the tool so that it doesn't dry on there, okay? So now I'll put this tool away, and we're actually going to bring out the Stamparatus. Now, this is the one tip that I didn't try today, okay? So we're actually going to do this one together. We're using the words thank you, and the thank you is also from the Everything is Rosy set, okay? So here's Everything is Rosy, and we're using the word thank you. Yes, Lee, great question. I am using Whisper White regular cardstock. I could also use the extra thick Whisper White cardstock, and I could also use the shimmery white cardstock, okay? That has a little more shimmer. I'm sorry you all are getting that reflection from my camera. I'll move this down and maybe this will be a little bit better. All right, so at this point, I'm going to bring in my sponge dauber for this technique. And again, this is a sponge dauber that I would label so that whenever I get out my rose gold shimmer paint, I would be able to use the same dauber. All right, so I'm going to use this dauber here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply ink to the stamp. Now, the reason I'm using the Stamparatus is just in case I don't get a nice even coverage for the word, I can go back and re-ink it. So let's see where we are. Hey, that's pretty good. I did forget one thing, and that was to use my magnets. So let's do this again. Let me just grab a magnet that's on the back of my Stamparatus. I guess I just got too excited. And I'm going to put that there so that my paper does not move, okay? And let's go back to the sponge dauber and let's ink up that word again, okay? So you ladies are my guinea pigs because I did not try this earlier today. All right, so that's pretty good. I am actually going to zoom in for you to see it better, and I'm going to apply some more paint using the sponge dauber, okay? And again, I can go back and stamp, and I am stamping in the very same place. And as you can see, we've got our words right here. So that was pretty cool. All right, I'm just gonna wipe the shimmer off my stamp, and I'll zoom back out. Whoops, going the wrong way there. And I'm just going to wipe it off of my Stamparatus because I don't want to mess up my plate, okay? So the Stamparatus is going to be great for using, for inking the words, okay? So I will go ahead and move this now out of the way. And our next tip, and what I'm doing is I just made myself a bunch of notes today. So I just want to check real quick to make sure that I'm covering all my points. You can also use one of our regular sponges. Hey Liz, welcome. I'm glad you commented, Liz, because I'm giving away some cards tonight that we're making. So you can use a sponge, works just like the sponge dauber, but I do think you get more control with the sponge dauber. And what I would do with this is I would cut it into quarters. And when you cut it into quarters, you're going to get 4 pieces. And you can just use your paper snips to cut your sponge, okay? All right, now one other cool trick with the sponge dauber, and again, you could use the sponge instead if you want. Let's go ahead, since I've used the ink in the top, let's go ahead and shake it again. And let's get some more ink in the cap. And then I'm just going to dip that. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually create an edge on your cardstock. I mean, you could actually do this on the card if you want, okay? And you can see how beautiful this shimmer is, all right? All right, let's see what's next. Let's see. All right, so I think what I can do now is we can actually start making a card, okay? All right, so in order to do that, I am actually going to bring in, I'm moving things around a bit. Oh, I know one thing I wanted to show you before we start on our cards, and I'm sorry, I just thought of this. I do want to show you some other shimmer paints that are available. The gold and the bright copper shimmer paints are on the clearance rack, okay? And they are $3.20 each. So they are retiring, they are on clearance. So if you really like the shimmer paint idea, these are definitely two you might want to invest in. Liz, I love your idea about using the sponge dauber to apply the shimmer paint to the flap of the envelopes. I never thought of that, and that is an awesome idea. Thank you. All right. So that was just my little note about that. If I can pull this up. And then these two shimmer paints are going to carry over to the annual catalog that's coming out on June 4th. We've got Frost White and we've got Champagne Mist, okay? So these will be in the annual book if you like shimmer, okay? All right, so in order to get started, I'm bringing in a cardboard box, because we're actually going to mix some of this, and I want to show you how it's done. Let's see, let me find my shimmer here. And I'm going to get my dropper. And the key to this, ladies, is 70% rubbing alcohol. Okay, thanks for sharing, Margaret. All right, so I have a confession to make. When I first started using the shimmer paint, I was using 91% rubbing alcohol, and it didn't work. It was very blobby, okay? It just didn't do anything. And then I did a little reading and research and found out that it has to be the 70% rubbing alcohol. So that is key, okay? All right, so I am going to shake this again. And we're gonna do some spritzing on our cards. So that's why we're doing this. And I'm almost at the bottom of this. And I decided to wait for you all so that you can see how it's done, okay? I'm gonna use the medicine dropper. And I'm actually gonna use 8 to 10 drops. And I'm gonna start with 8, okay? And we'll see how that looks. So I've got 1, that was 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, number 5. Let's get some more shimmer paint. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now, I don't want to add too much because I can't take that away. But if I'm not happy with the 8 drops, I can always add more shimmer. Okay. All right. This gets a little messy. I need a funnel, so that's the next thing I need to invest in. But what I'm going to do is, the shimmer paint is in there, and I'm now going to fill up the stampin spritzer. And it may get on the cardboard, and if it does, no big deal. I always use a cardboard box. As you can see, it is spilling a little bit. And I'm gonna stop it about right there, because I do want room to shake it up. And if I wanna add more shimmer paint, I can do that, okay? Alrighty. So here we go. And I'm just gonna shake it up really well. I actually brought a paper towel here. All right. So I'm shaking it up. So ask questions, or you know, if you have any more advice on using shimmer paint, that would be awesome too, okay? All right, so I think I've done that enough. I'm gonna take the cap off. And by the way, our spritzer bottles are in the annual book, and they'll be in the new catalog as well, and 2 are in a package, okay? All right, so this is going to be our first card, and we are going to spritz this card base in the shimmer paint. So let's get the card base over here. This is actually powder pink, and powder pink is retiring, and I don't even think you can buy the cardstock anymore. I think it is now gone. So hopefully you have some in your stash. All right, if not, use Blushing Bride. Okay, so now I'm going to spritz this, and I'm just, let's see, let's use this size. And you can see I'm in a cardboard box, and I'm just holding the spritzer away now. Okay, and we'll give it just a few minutes to dry. And while that's drying, let me show you what the shimmer looks like on Melon Mambo. I did this earlier today, and this is what the rose gold shimmer looks like on Night of Navy. And I had one more, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. And this is what it looks like in the Whisper White. Okay, and it's a little hard to see, unfortunately, but it's just really, really pretty. All right, so it looks like I have got my card base here with the shimmer on it, and I actually might add a little bit more now. All right, and we'll let that dry. And while it's drying, we'll go ahead and we'll put our card together, okay? All righty, here we go. I'm just gonna just set that aside for a few minutes. Let me bring the card in that we're making, and by sharing and commenting, you get your name and a drawing, and then I put this in the mail to you. All right, so we're using Night of Navy ink and this beautiful Everything is Rosy stamp set with the beautiful font. Just love that. And we're going to go ahead and put the designer paper together. And a few weeks ago on Facebook Live, we talked about the designer paper. I have probably made about 75 projects with this entire kit. So I've definitely got my money's worth, and I'm out of paper. All right, I'm just centering this. The designer paper is measuring 3 by 3, and the cardstock is measuring 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. And I'm going to add some dimensionals. By the way, we're waiting for that card base to dry, and I'm going to check on it now. All right, now you can hopefully see. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see in the light, and it's actually very pretty. It almost looks like Wink of Stella, if you all know what I'm talking about. That's one of our pens called Wink of Stella, and we have a clear one, and it makes this real shimmery stuff. All right, so I'm just going to center this now. It is, it's dry enough now, okay? So now that that's done, I actually want to put some shimmer on this. And so I'm going to bring back my cardboard box, and I'm going to move this up so you can see it, and then I'm going to spritz it. All right, and we'll give that a few minutes to dry. Again, unfortunately, the light is just not doing this justice. I'm sorry about that. All right, but it looks really pretty. Looks like I colored it on there. So we're gonna pop this up onto this scallop circle, and I use the Layering Circles framelits dies, and I use the Stitched Shapes framelits, and I'm just going to center that, and then I'm going to add one of our embellishments. You get 60 of these in the product Medley, and they are great for embellishing. Liz, if you are still there, Did you get this product? Medley, I'm sorry. And also Kathy, did you get the product Medley? I am peeling off that little clear piece of covering. It was just there to protect the embellishment, but hopefully you can see some of that shimmer. All right, and now I'm going to bring in my ribbon. Here's the cardigan that we're making. We did this little trick last week, and I will show you. I just put a glue dot on the back of the ribbon, and then the two are gonna meet. Oh, good, Liz, good. Oh, Gail, I'm so glad your friends are watching. That's awesome. All right, so if any of you live in the Richmond, Virginia area, Mechanicsville, Henrico, Chesterfield County, even Fredericksburg, Tappahannock, my open house is on Monday, May 27th, which is Memorial Day. And I've got a lot of gals coming, and I would love it if you all would join us. You just need to let me know so that I have a welcome packet for you and a free catalog and a free gift, okay? So join. All right. All right, so we're ready now to pop this up. So let me go back and get the dimensionals. Liz says that she made some 3x3 cards and she sponged the edges of the 3x3 envelope. That's awesome. What a great idea. What a great idea. I'll be honest, I have hardly ever used shimmer paint, and this really is the first time when I ordered the product Medley, and I'm really glad that I just kind of dove into it and started learning all about it because it's pretty fun. All right, so here's our card right here. It's got some lovely shimmer on it. I hope you can see it. I have a ton of lights, fluorescent lights here in my stamp room, and I am just surprised that the glimmer is not picking up that great. But hopefully you can see a little bit of it right there. Now we're gonna make one more card because I've got a couple of other techniques that I want to show you, okay? So let me just show you the last card here. It's right here. And let me zoom in on this one so you can get a good look at it. We are going to spritz the background. We are going to flick some shimmer paint right onto the cardstock. I'm going to show you how to do that. And hopefully you've noticed that I've even painted this in, okay? So that's what we're doing on this card. And again, this is the powder pink that's retiring. So I hope you have some of that in your stash, okay? So we'll start with, I just dropped something. Hopefully I won't need it, no. We're gonna start with the powder pink. You're gonna notice I have a score line here. This score line is not gonna show. This was some scrap paper that I had left, and I thought, why not use it? Because the score line will not show. All right, so I'm gonna bring in this lovely box again, and I am going to shake this up, and we are going to spritz. Hopefully you can see it when I'm spritzing. All right, I really put some on that, okay? So there we go. That is the background. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in an aqua painter. All right. So I would recommend using, thank you, Linda. Thanks, Gail. I'm so glad you like it. I hope you can see it. It's really fun. I recommend using an old aqua painter. One that you've had for a long time. Maybe the bristles are a little frayed. This would be the one that you'd want to use, because once that shimmer gets in there, it's really hard to clean it and get it off, okay? And you could even label your aqua painter with the shimmer paint name, okay? All right, so I am going to bring this back over. Let's get rid of the medicine dropper. All right, if you all have any tips on how you have gotten paint out of this bottle, I would love to know. I am looking for the top. Here it is. All right, and I'm going to shake it. And then I'm going to open it back up. I'm going to wipe that off. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually using the top. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back in. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see the technique here. And I'm just going to dip that aqua painter into the cap. And notice how I take these, take the brush and I'm going to put it inside the cap. And I am just going to flick some of the paint on it. All right, and I'm going to do it again. Just use the cap for it. That's why you're going to want to label your aqua painter and never use it for anything else again. Okay, what do you think? Now that's going to dry. We're going to give it some time to dry while we work on another technique, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to zoom back out and let's see, I am going to need the top again, but we'll shake it up one more time. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to dry. And I am going to bring in the stamped piece that we're using. And I'm going to bring in this little leaf stamp, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm just going to stamp my leaf here. And this is Night of Navy, by the way. And the stamped images and the words are from Everything is Rosy. Thank you, Linda. Thanks, Margaret. Somebody's going home with these cards tonight, girls. How about that? Okay, so I'm going to shake it again. I want to get some ink in the cap. And you have two choices here. You can use a blender pen. This is a blender pen, and unfortunately this is a brand new blender pen, so I'm not going to use it on the shimmer paint tonight, okay? This is great for watercoloring. It does have two tips and they do stay moist, okay? And 3 come in a package when you order these. But for tonight's demonstration, I'm going to go back to the aqua painter because I already have kind of messed that up. Hey Chris, welcome! Welcome, welcome. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that aqua painter and I'm dipping it into the shimmer and I am going to color. Now, honestly, this would be so much better with the blender pen because I would have a little more control than I do right now. And this is a pretty big brush tip. Okay, but this will give you the idea of what is supposed to happen there, okay? And I'll go ahead and I'll color this one and this one. Yeah, I wish I had an old blender pen because I think I would have liked that more. Although, this is not too bad. It's just that my brush tip is pretty wide, okay? So what I'm showing you is you can color in stamped images using the rose gold, okay? Now, one other technique that we're not trying tonight, but I will go over it, and I haven't had a whole lot of luck with it, and that is to take an older aqua painter and drop in some of the shimmer with your medicine dropper and add the rubbing alcohol and then create a watercolor background. And for me, it hasn't worked very well. And believe me, I have tried. And I'll actually try right now while that's finishing up. Let's just see if I can get anything to happen. So as you can see, well, not really. Here we go. I think next time I will bring in another light. But as you can see here, I'm kind of creating a background using the aqua painter. But again, I haven't had a whole lot of success with it. So thank you, Liz. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad you like it. All right. All right, so that was the other little tip to give you there. And now what we're going to do is we are going to put this card together. So let's hope everything is dry. This is dry, and when using rubbing alcohol, things will dry faster than when you're using water, okay? So that's another reason to use the rubbing alcohol. I am going to zoom in right here so that you can kind of see that shimmer that we created earlier, and you'll see those little specks of paint that we added with the aqua painter, okay? All right, so let me find my snail, and we're going to put this card together. Please remember to share the video as well. This just gets centered. Again, this is a Night of Navy card base, and it's powder pink cardstock that is retiring, okay? I keep saying that it's retiring. I don't even think you can even purchase anymore. I think they are just sold out of it. All right, so I'm using some of the Everything is Rosy designer paper. Again, I have created about 75 projects with this suite, this little mini suite. And you know what I forgot to do? I was gonna put on some copper ribbon, but it's not too late. So I'm out of ribbon that came with the medley. There were 10 yards of Melon Mambo and 10 yards of the Night of Navy ribbon, and I'm totally used it all. And so I decided to go with the copper ribbon that's in the annual catalog. So what I'm going to do is, if I can, I am going to just lift that paper up so that I can get that copper ribbon under here, okay? Because I forgot all about my bow. And as many of you know, I love ribbon. All right. I'm glad y'all like the card. Thank you. They're not super fancy. I was really just focusing on the techniques tonight so that if you order the medley, you'll know what to do with all of the product that's in it, okay? And that's what's important. You want to use what comes in the kit, and it all coordinates so beautifully. All right. Let's see, Carol. Oh, okay, some petal pink paper to my card. Awesome. Awesome, very good. So petal pink, Carol, that's in our regular color collection. So that is a good choice. This is powder pink. And so this one is retiring because it's an in color. But you could certainly use petal pink and it would be absolutely beautiful. So go for it. All right, we're gonna add this, I use the layering ovals with this card. And this is one of the scallops, the scallop ovals. All right, and this little guy we're actually gonna pop up with dimensionals. And you know, it really didn't take very long to dry. All right, and I'm just going to center that, okay? All right, so this is what it looks like. And when we get off Facebook Live tonight, I'm gonna edit the video and put it on my blog. And I have this handout for you, and I'll also put the shimmer paint recipe here for you so that you'll have other tips and tricks and techniques that you can use with the shimmer paint, okay? And Carol, if you like the shimmer paint, add the gold and the bright copper because they are on the clearance rack and they're $3.20 each, okay? So that would be an awesome thing to add.
And who does just what they love and lets it show. One card at a time can really change the way we live.